Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum students. I welcome you all in the English class of today, and we are on the poem Leisure. We have studied about the poem, about the reading, we have done the translation, and today we are going to do the grammar side work of this poem. So let's get started. First, recite the dua, Rabbi zidni ilma, O Allah, increase us in knowledge. I repeat it again, Rabbi zidni ilma, O Allah, increase us in knowledge. The topic of today is subject and the object. Textbook page 36 and 37, workbook pages from 24 till 26. So let's get started. First of all, we should know what is subject. A subject is a part of a sentence that contains the person or thing performing the action or verb in a sentence. Basically, subject is a noun that performs the action, that performs the task. For example, you were a great singer. In this sentence, the subject is you and the verb is were. Who is performing the action? You is performing the action, so he is a verb. Now, let's do the work of page 36, exercise number C, learning about language of your textbook, subjects and the object. Number 1 question is, do you remember what you have learned about subjects and objects? So let me remind you again that subject is someone who performs the action. It can be a thing, animal, or a person. Underline the subjects in the following sentences. So I have done this work, so let's discuss it. Number 1, the girl ran down the road. Who ran down the road? The girl. So the girl is performing the action, so it is subject. Number B, the girl and the boy. It is not necessary that a sentence has only one subject. It can have two or more subjects. The girl and boy ran down the road. Now who ran down the road? The girl and the boy. They both performing the action of running. So the subject is the girl and the boy. Remember that, students, it's not necessary to have one subject. It can be one or more. Number C, the tall girl and the short boy climbed the fence. So in this sentence again we have two subjects, the tall girl and the short boy, because they both perform the action. And what is the verb here? Climbed. They both climbed, so that's why this sentence has two subjects. Now number D, 3 old men and 2 young girls and a dog. As I told you before that it is not necessary to have only one subject, it can have two or more subjects as well. So here you can see there are 3 old men, 2 young girls and a dog were waiting for a bus. What action they are performing? They all are waiting, so they are subject. So here, students, you get the example of many subjects in a sentence. Now number E, the man who gave me the money is sitting in that shop. The man who gave me the money is the subject, and what action he is performing? He is sitting, so that is verb. So underline all the subjects in this sentence in your book. So students, now let's discuss about the object. Remember that subject and object is the topic and object is the part of the predicate. Remember, in the previous classes you have studied about subject and the predicate. Subject is the starting noun of the sentence and predicate is the rest of the sentence. So students, what are objects? There are two types of objects. The one is direct object and the second one is indirect object. So first let's discuss. Object is something on which the action is performed, that receives the action of the person. So it is not necessary that all the sentence must have the object. Some sentence do not have the object. For example, I am waiting. So here you can see the I is the subject and am and waiting are the verb. And in this sentence there is no object. So let's again discuss another example. I am waiting for the bus. So who receives the action? Bus receives the action, that the person is waiting for the bus. So I is the subject, waiting is the verb, and the bus is the object. So now let's discuss the direct object. The direct object is the noun or noun phrase that receives the action from the verb. Direct objects are those that receive the action directly from the subject. For example, our cat caught a mouse. Here, our cat is the subject, caught is the verb, and a mouse is the direct object. Direct object is always with the verb. It is always written with the verb. Now, find the object, direct object in the example number 2. The boss saw her in town. To whom he saw? He saw her. What he saw? He saw her. The boss is the subject, saw is the verb, and her is the direct object. So, direct object answer of what? Okay. So, in this example, the boss saw what? He saw her. So, this is the direct object. The action received to her. So, that is the direct object. Now, let's discuss about indirect object. Indirect object, it is not necessary that the sentence have indirect object always. Sometimes sentence only have the direct object. Like I gave the book, I is the subject, gave is the verb, and the book is the direct object. In this sentence there is no indirect object, but sometimes sentence has indirect object as well. Like I gave him the book. So him is the indirect object in the sentence. How? Let's discuss. A word. What is the indirect object? A word or a group of words representing the person or thing with reference to which the action of a verb is performed. Basically, it reference to the action. It is always written with along with the preposition sometimes, and it is like a noun or a pronoun and always follows an action verb. It is always written with the preposition and action verb and follows the action verb. Is usually between the action verb and the direct object. It is always in between the action verb and the direct object. Here in the example, I gave him the pen. So gave is the verb, the direct object is the pen, and him is the indirect object. Now page number 37 of the textbook, let's discuss. Underline the direct and circle the indirect object in each of the following. Remember that I told you that indirect objects are always between a direct and between the verb. So in the first sentence, she brought me a cake. Through which reference she brought the cake? To whom she brought the cake? Me. So brought is the verb, cake is the direct object, and me is relating the action to the cake, relating the action to the object. So that's why it is indirect object. Now number B, they gave some food to the traveler. Here is gave verb, traveler is the object, and food is the indirect object because it is in between the object and the subject, and it is the reference to the food. I sang a song to her. Here, her is the indirect object and song is the direct object. The teacher showed the class a video. What she showed to the class? A video. So that is a direct object. And to whom she shows? She shows the video to the class. So class is the indirect object. Basically, direct objects answer the question of what, An indirect object answers the question of whom, from whom, for whom, at whom. So the example, the teacher showed the class a video. What she showed the class to the what she showed the video. So that is an object. And to whom she showed the video to the class. So class is the indirect object. Now workbook page 24, put a line under the subject in the following. The boy asked a question. Who asked the question? The boy. So that is a subject. He is performing the action. Number B, she went to the market. Who went to the market? She. She is performing the action of going. So she is the subject. Number C, the children played under the old banyan tree. Who is playing under the old banyan tree? Children. Number D, Rehan and Rida talked to the police officer. So talking is a verb here, and Rehan and Rida are performing this action, so they are subject. Here you can see we have two subjects in a sentence. Number E, the big brown bear climbed the rocky path. Who climbed the rocky path? The big brown bear. So our subject answered the question of who. Now number F, the man who sold me the bicycle is walking down the road. Who sold the bicycle? Who is walking? Walking is a verb here, and the man who sold me the bicycle is the subject. Now workbook page 25, exercise A and B. Question number 2 of exercise A and question number 2 of exercise B. Fill in the blanks with the suitable subjects. Dash woke me up with a scream. My mother. You can use any other subject here. A teacher told the boy to go home. A baby gave the beggar a coin. My father is looking out of the window. A pirate found the treasure chest. So you can use any suitable subjects. Now underline all the direct objects in the following sentences. Remember that direct objects are those that answers the question of what. My father sang a song. What he sang? He sang a song. So that is a direct object. The children danced a jig. What they danced? A jig. My father lost an extremely valuable watch. What he lost? He lost an extremely valuable watch. So that is a object. My mother found 100 rupee note. What she found? She found 100 rupee note. The children spent the money. What the children spend? They spend the money. So direct object always answer the question of what. Now underline the direct object and circle the indirect objects in sentences below. He sent the box to his mother. So what are the direct object? What he sent? He sent the box. And to whom? His mother. So mother is the indirect object. Number D, she found a present for her husband. What she found? So direct object is a present. She found a present. And for whom? Husband. So husband is the indirect object. Number C, the man bought a carpet for himself. What he bought? A carpet. So a carpet is a direct object. And to whom and for whom? So for himself, so that is an indirect object. Number D, Moise threw the ball to his brother. What he threw? The ball. So that is a direct object. And to whom he threw? His brother is the indirect object. Number E, he gave the balloons to the children. What he gave? The balloons. The action is performed on the balloons. And to whom he gave? To the child. So child is a indirect object. I hope students you all get what is subject, what is object, and what is indirect and direct objects. So let's recall the lecture. Subject is the person who is performing the action. In a sentence, it can be more than 2 or 3 or more subjects. It's not necessary that a sentence only contain one subject. Then what is object? Object is something on which the action is received. So again, what is direct object? Direct object is always written with the verb, and sometimes sentence only has the direct object, it do not have the indirect object. Direct object always answer the question of what. So, and what is indirect object? Indirect object is the reference and a relation between the verb and the direct object. It is not necessary that all the sentence must have indirect object, and they answer the questions of for whom, at whom, to whom, and for and from whom. So I hope students you all get the lecture and you can easily solve the exercise as I did. So Allah Hafiz, take care of yourself.